my name right. As an exotic name, I often get it corrected. Spell check is a bitch. I've been corrected to anemic android. That's not even possible. And so I'm an unbelievable Jamaican. The reason I'm unbelievable is because people don't believe I'm Jamaican. I've been told I speak really good English for a Jamaican. Yeah, English is the first language of Jamaica. And when I say first, I mean only. Except for the patois. But on an island exclusively designed for slave workers, we needed a means to talk behind our boss's back. So it was a natural progression. I've also been told that I'm too posh to be Jamaican. What? I am not posh. I pissed myself drunk in Croydon last week. That is not posh behaviour. It's really interesting though, when people have a comment about my accent and they associate with Jamaica, I like to give them an education. See, it used to be Spanish Jamaica until the British muscled in. And I'm not being ungrateful or anything, but I wouldn't mind the tapas. Or the cava. Or the siestas. But you can't choose your coloniser, can you? You just don't get that privilege, unfortunately. So let me give you a snippet of my life in Jamaica. So I grew up with my uncle and my auntie and my cousins. And I tried my first hit of weed aged 3 courtesy of my uncle. Yes, it's a good life. We used to have an outside shower, and in the mornings you had to contend with the bullfrogs for the shower. It was some weird interspecies thing. God forbid you drop the soap. Terrifying. At night, we used to fall asleep to the light of a kerosene lamp. Does anyone know what a kerosene lamp is? Yay, yay. It's basically an oil lamp, right? So it wasn't a light in the middle of the room. And there was always a moth the size of my face on the wall. I'm not even lying. Anyone from South America, Central America, they are huge. And my grandmother would always say, don't worry, it's your ancestors coming down to take a look at it. Make it a little bit more creepy, why don't you? She would always warn me and say, no bother your granduncle picking because Duppy, I got box you down. Duppy, aka ghosts. And that was a real threat for a 5-year-old. Because all of our family was buried in our backyard. Yeah, I could sit on my great-great-grandfather's grave. So it was a real threat for a 5-year-old. And we used to have plumbing not inside the house. We used to have this thing called a chimney. It's like a bedpan here, right? And it used to sit under the bed. I couldn't use that thing. In my kid mind, there were cockroaches drinking Red Stripe and playing dominoes under that bed. Needless to say, I pissed the bed in fright every night. And there was 3 of us in that bed. That's true. Now, you might be aware of the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. Yeah. I have a theory about why he's so fast, right? Let me give you an insight, right? They used to give us the cane, right? Like the switch. And you'd always get a warning. Always, right? First warning. Nobody around put me picking. Which means, do not test me, child. You listen to that, you're fine. Second warning. If you can't hear, you have a feel. Yeah, you remember that one, don't you? Which means a violence will come up. And the third one, a hell on powder house in here tonight. Which means the residents will be consumed with violence. And then there was always the prayer. Lord God Almighty, me can't spare the run and spoil the child. So you have plenty of time to run.